So today we're going to be talking about the psychology, the mind part of all of this, right? So the cool thing about this week is that we were scrolling on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and we wanted to find some of the best branding and business tips when it comes to this psychology thing, right? And we stumbled upon quite a few that is super interesting that I know I'm truly excited to talk about, right? Let's talk about the very first one. Now, I'm really excited about this one because it's about chocolate, okay? It's about chocolate. But not in a way that you're thinking, right? Shout out to Jack. I want to say it's Chappelle or Chapel. One of the two. You know I always mess up these last names and I'm sorry, right? But it's talking about points of like the experience and how experience is connected to the actual product. So let's listen and watch this.
So why do customers stick to some brands forever, even if they don't know any message behind the brand? Let's take an example of 3 different unknown chocolate brands. You decide to purchase one box of chocolates from one of these brands at random for $20. You go home and you decide to share some of these chocolates with your new girlfriend or boyfriend. Then you both enjoy the chocolates and have a great night together. This simple act will likely make you a customer for life with this one chocolate brand. That is because your brain will now associate these chocolates with a positive experience you had with your partner.
So first, now I want chocolate. Now I want chocolate. But this is really interesting because I really think about how can we connect a product or a service to a lifestyle? So when I look at that, I'm like, then why don't more chocolate people do this? Meaning, why don't we look at certain special events, anniversaries, weddings, dates, that whole nine. And my whole marketing is going to be showcasing that. My whole thing is somebody is in the hospital, needed somebody and needed a smile. And that particular brand was sent to them through the nurse. I'm showing that a surprise birthday party happened, and on the table, everybody had a joint of these different chocolates. I would be showing a really dope picnic at the park, and then there's like a plate full of these chocolates. Like you would just connect smiles, happiness, really deep connections with your partner, with somebody that you love. And I would put it in that kind of context and be like, that's my whole thing. If I'm connecting, I'm not connecting, does it taste good? How milk chocolate is the milkiest chocolate in the world. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is what experience is going to remind you, or if I wanted to target kids, I would go find some of the dopest lunch boxes. And when you open it, you're always going to see that chocolate. So now the kids are like, yo, I want that chocolate in my lunchbox. And all different types of lunch boxes. It could be everything from the brown bag, right, to the fanciest lunch box, or just literally the book bag. You open it and there's always something there. Mom be like, yo, did you check the side pocket? No, Mom, what, whoop. Oh, thanks, Mom. Like, I would show just the different everyday things and put it into that particular product. And I'm saying that because it's like, we can do that with our own product. Like, what is an everyday thing that, and in that sense, it was a positive side. So what is an everyday thing from a positive side that would make people smile that you can connect your product to, right? Because if you connect it to something negative, they probably won't really rock with it. In that same video that Jack did, he also talked about, like, if you give the person the chocolate and you guys break up, you'll probably never buy that chocolate again, right? Because of what you've experienced. So you don't necessarily want to connect it with negative things, but with positive things. If you are now marketing it, if you are now trying to figure out, yo, how do I get this out to the people? How are we showing that this makes us smile? This makes us feel happy. This makes us feel warm inside. So this, yeah, I got all of that out of chocolate. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's powerful.
This is me, right? This is me. But this next one, I'm gonna mess up this last name. I know, but I'm gonna try. Right? And then I'm just gonna say Max K. So this next one is from Max K. His last name is Klimenko. If I did that wrong, I apologize, right? And Moose is like, yeah, you did, but we're not gonna say anything. So I'm trying over here. Okay. Now, this one is discussing the examples of effective color psychology. Like everything that we see from colors on a brand actually triggers us to do something. So let's get into that one.
Makes you buy stuff. Studies show that 90% of consumer decisions around which product to buy are based specifically on its color. So a brand like Apple uses gray, which is usually a very neutral color, to communicate minimalism, simplicity, and technological progress. Black is one of the most popular colors with Gen Z, and it's actually used among many fashion retailers, such as Nike. And the way that Nike uses black is to communicate style, communicate sophistication, and elegance. Green color is right in the middle of the color spectrum, and it's actually the easiest on your eye. So usually it's used by brands who want to communicate health, who want to make you feel comfortable, healthy, and fresh. For example, Whole Foods. The blue color is used by brands who want you to think that they're stable and reliable. For example, banks and insurance companies. Red color is usually used by brands who want you to buy things fast. This is why when it comes to compulsive purchasing, 99% of all of them are red. So are the fast food brands like Five Guys, McDonald's, and Burger King.
This is so critical, and it's really one of my favorite parts, because that was probably my first branding lesson that I've ever learned. Like when I go back, 6 or 7 years ago, I remember coming across the color psychology and being more in tune with the idea that, oh, there's psychology involved in branding, right? Like that's what I was naturally first attracted to, the psychology piece. And then, of course, as I learned about the importance of branding, now it all makes sense in bringing it together. But this is a really important lesson for those of us who are just starting our brand. And we always talk about creating that alignment, right, between what you do and who you are, et cetera, et cetera. And we can talk about it in a lot of different ways, even down to the product, the audience, all these different things. When you talk about, okay, now what do I want the color of my logo to be, right? It's not just now going based off of your favorite color. That's part of it. But thinking a little bit beyond that to say, all right, what am I going to do in the marketplace? And how can I utilize the colors to my advantage to communicate that, right? So you look at the colors that you choose in everything you do, from your logo to your presentations, to your business cards, to your website. I know people go as deep as the actual font, and they really think about the font, in a very detailed way. So this is something to bring you back to this idea of details matter, not in a way to make you overwhelmed and feel stressed about it, but to think about how can I utilize every aspect of what I'm doing so that I'm intentionally and even at a subconscious level communicating to my audience and potential customers to know what I represent and what I stand for. So super, super critical one here. And yeah, shout out to the throwback of reminding me of my first branding lesson. Like, oh, word, that's important, huh? So yeah.
This next one, maybe me and Moose got to talk about this one. I ain't going to hold you because this one's really dope. It's done by the same Max guy. I'm not doing it again, okay? The same Max guy is behind why we're holding on to these Apple boxes. Like how many Apple boxes do you guys have? Like if you got a laptop, the Mac, the iPad, the phone, how many boxes do you still have? I'm actually curious about that. So, but here is why.
This is the secret reason why you can't throw away the Apple boxes.
What phone do you have?
iPhone.
Do you still have the box?
Yeah.
Why?
No idea.
87% of people don't throw away Apple boxes. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Do you have yours?
Yes, I have a bunch actually.
Why?
There is literally a secret room at Apple called Packaging Room, where designers look through hundreds of different prototypes of boxes, different shapes and materials to come up with this patent. The air pocket packaging means that you can't open the box quickly. It's forcing a pause as your brand new device is unveiling itself. Although it's probably the same as the last. Hi guys, it comes out very slowly. In marketing, this is called controlled friction. Cheap products are either very easy to open or very hard. Luxury products are in the sweet spot in between. Collectible books, luxury watches, and expensive car doors are all harder to open than the cheaper versions of the products. The luxury feel of the unboxing experience makes you keep them and give Apple free advertising spots in your house.
So first, how many boxes do you have?
At least 10, without a doubt. At least 10. At least 10, without a doubt. Yeah, because between my iPad, my computer, the phones, the AirPods, I have the box of, I just got rid of because I used to have the big desktop, the iMac. I just got rid of that, but I still have some of the other components because I left the keyboard and the mouse and whatnot. So yeah, a ton. I'm gonna just say that. The cases, even the box for the cases I got. So it's crazy.
Why?
Well, this is just an indicator that it's time to throw some stuff away now that I know that they tricked me. But yeah, there is no explanation. I got it. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
You 3, 4. He said, no, 10. Confident.
It's up there.
So,
it's up there.
This is cool because I'm thinking of it more even for myself, right? Because as I'm thinking about, okay, I got this hat line coming down the line, right? Like, okay, thinking about the packaging and the fact I never thought of, okay, I can't stand the ones that it takes so hard that you have to get scissors and everything to open. Don't ever give me a package where I need scissors because I'm not carrying scissors. And if my keys can't open it, that is even worse. Okay. Can't stand that. Right. But I never really thought about why we keep the boxes, because the boxes were such an experience. I'm seeing kind of a trend as far as why I get excited about things. It's like the experience of it, right? So if there is an experience of opening it, I'm now keeping every part of this experience to remember, I got this product. Like I got this.
Yep.
I got this phone, I got the phone, I even got the box. Now, in my head, I never thought this is why I keep it. I think one of the main reasons why I keep it, because what if I have to trade it in? And so here's the box. But I always remember they give you another box. They don't even want the original box. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So, but thinking about other things that I've kept the box on, I'm like, there's a lot of ones that I just throw out. Especially if I rip it open, it's like Christmas kind of open because I don't know how to open things. It's
right.
It's gone. I'm not keeping that, right? Or now, boxes that Cuddles has ripped open, we're not keeping those either because now. So okay, here's two experiences that has something that is similar, right? So y'all know, based off like a week or two ago, as far as me talking about network and that whole experience, right? Which I'll talk about that on the after show about something I just got. These little bears, right? These little bears, they come in blind boxes. And you open up the blind box and it has like 2 packages. It comes with the actual bear and then there's like this card, right? I think of the card, I think of like the Rolex card. Don't ask me why I think of the Rolex card because I never had a Rolex, but I instantly think of the Rolex card. So with this blind box, it's like, oh snap, I get this and I get the card and I keep the card. Now, I don't know why I keep the card. I associate it with, like I said, Rolex. but the experience makes me want to keep the card. It's like, I know exactly who it is. This is dope, right? But I don't keep the box because it's so hard to open. First off, it's hard. I don't like, what are we doing? So more, I'm breaking things down as far as, okay, why do I keep this? Why did I like opening this? Why is this a great experience? You know what, and I'm probably going to put this as far as my hat line, even though it doesn't necessarily need it. You know what I always get happy with? The poppy things. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Right.
The bubble wrap.
You give me a thing. Now I instantly, actually that's kind of fire. If I kind of have a certain kind of protective layer for the case of the box, you instantly think it's fragile. Oh, what? Cool. And you have fun. Oh yeah, no. So when we're thinking about like our own products and like the packaging of it, even that experience is kind of subconsciously embedded in our mind that we didn't even know about. That alone was super crazy to see. I was like, what? I sent it to Moose so quick. I was like, yo, you got to see this. I don't know. I was like, dope. We had so many other ones we were going to talk about. I was like, no, wait, hold on. You got to see this one. This one's fire. So.
Yeah, you know what? So just because you're using that word, subconsciously, I think the reason why I keep boxes to expensive things because of the sneaker era. You remember when you used to buy sneakers? It's like if you were ever going to resell, boxes. That's when it really matters. Like, oh, you got the box? I remember that because I remember in high school, that was the main thing. I remember going to Flight Club, and that's, prices can vary, not a ton, but that was a big thing, right? It's like, okay, you got the box for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think subconsciously, I definitely held on to some boxes that I shouldn't have just because of that, that era. But what I even took away from this is kind of what you just spoke to here as well. The idea that you don't just package your products because it looks nice. That's part of the reason. Yeah, absolutely. You want your project to have great appeal to it, but you are still communicating to your customer senses as they open the box, right? That's creating an experience. And so who knows, maybe we bought so many new iPhones subconsciously because of that feeling that we got that first couple of seconds as we were trying to rip the box open with that grand feel. And it does feel like a premium product in your hand. And so it's funny because even in the clip, he says, it's the same one, but we do the same, we do this every time. So it's so cool to think about, again, the details. Of course, my air traffic control is geeking out about a lot of this here too, because it brings a lot of those elements into it in saying there are small things that do matter, and you don't just have to rush to the final transaction point where the money is converted into your account. There are things that lead up to it that you can really think about and be creative and even get inspiration. So the fact that they have a secret room to test different boxes and, do all of that, things like that are super cool, man. That's awesome.
Listen, we could probably stay on this one for a little bit, but we got to go
for real
to the next one, still on the experience. And you've probably been through this store and you've either had a positive experience or a negative experience. I'm talking about IKEA. Okay. I'm talking about IKEA. Stefan Den from TikTok has this really dope breakdown about IKEA, about why we buy so much with them.
I went to Ikea for one thing and I came out with all this stuff.
Yeah, that's how it works. Ikea does a lot of things to get people to spend more, and about 60% of the purchases are from impulse buying. The first thing that Ikea does is have a very unique store layout. A lot of stores you can kind of explore as you want to, but not with Ikea. Instead, they bring you through a very specific path that gives you an average of 300,000 square feet of walking, or 5 football lengths. They do this because even if you just wanted to pick up some kitchen plates, you have to walk by pillows, rugs, toilet accessories, so many things first. And you tend to just pick those things up as you go so you don't have to walk back later, meaning that you end up buying more. They also set up the store very strategically, putting mirrors in specific places, so as you walk by them, you feel like you can visualize yourself really belonging in that room. Then they do something known as decoy pricing, where they put a middle value item in between a cheap and a premium one to make both look more appealing. And last up is the food. Even if you don't know that $500 is pretty cheap for a couch, you do know that 99 cents is a good deal for breakfast. And people tend to think that the low food prices mean that the furniture is a good deal too. Make sure you follow us for more money info like this.
Hey, if nothing else, we just saved you a couple $100 with this episode right here. You know this for a fact, because I can't tell you how many times when I first started going to Ikea, I was like, why can't I leave? I want to leave. Get me out of here. You can't exit backward. You try to exit backward, you're getting lost, and it takes you forever until you get through. You're like, oh, I literally just walked the entire store to get to the exit, right? So they almost trap you in there. But again, a lot of these added elements give you an experience where you can see people go there. I remember going once around, forget Black Friday, of course, but it was during COVID when I was moving to my new apartment. The line outside was an hour just to get in, just to get inside. It was almost an hour to get inside. And sure enough, we waited because you know that there are certain things to expect. You know that it's an everything store. It has a lot of what you need when it comes to your furniture needs, etc. So it's so crazy to think that these things are not done by mistake, that they're done by design. And they know it's you know, I think almost directly parallel to the digital and online space when we talk about the reason why summits and challenges and all of these different types of quote unquote webinars have done so well for people, the extended versions of them, it's because your potential customer spends more time with you. And when they spend more time with you, they're more likely to trust you or to want to buy from you because they've learned so much more about your stuff. It's the same thing at the store. If you spend so much time there, or you spend more time than you normally would at a standard store because you couldn't just run in, grab what you want and leave, you're looking at other things and you're like, oh, well, this would be nice. And you know what? Maybe it won't hurt if I get an extra mirror, and maybe I can upgrade the pillows on the couch and this and this and that. Before you know it, you probably went in and bought way more than you need. So creates an experience. And I'm just talking more about the layout, not even the price decoy and some of the other things that you mentioned. But also another thing that was really surprising to me was the food, because I didn't think about that. It's true. It's like if I buy something at the very end, I was like, oh, it's not even that expensive. It makes you undermine what you did spend. So yeah, that's crazy.
I just don't like that I can't get out of the store when I want to get out of the store.
Oh, I know so many people can relate with that.
Ah, God. Like I went to Ikea twice recently, and I was just like, I don't want to walk this much. I don't want to walk. I was ready at the second section. Like, I was ready to go. Like, why do I have to walk the whole, this is horrible. Anyway, so that's that. But we can't leave without just talking about the very basic store, right? The grocery store. So shout out to Gerardo Perez, because he breaks down the whole layout of the grocery store and how it makes us happy and why do we buy some extra stuff. You know what they should have done? One about Walmart, but we'll talk about that later.
Grocery stores are designed to manipulate you into spending more money. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but almost all grocery stores have the same layout. They typically start with the fruits and vegetables as you enter. This is because the fresh scents and bright colors inspire a positive and happy mental state. And when you're happy, you spend more money. Typically, if they have a bakery, they'll have that towards the entrance. The smell of fresh baked bread will get your appetite going. As you keep going, you'll come across fresh foods like seafood and the deli section. Next, notice how the dairy section is literally at the opposite end of the entrance. This is strategic because dairy products like milk, eggs, and cheese are the most frequent purchases at a grocery store. They want you to make the entire journey across the store in hopes that you add other random to your cart too. Lastly, at the checkout, we have all those little afterthoughts like candy, chocolate, gum, and drinks. As you can see, this layout is no accident. It's intentional and shows that
I'm hungry for no reason now. So there's a particular part, there's two parts I wanted to point out with that one is the layout of where the dairy products is, right? And that's great how it's like, oh, the the fruits and vegetables and blah, blah, blah. That's great, right? Now, I know for me, for certain grocery stores, I just skip all that. You know what I mean? I'm not the healthiest. We know this. So I skip all that. So I don't even go through the, oh, it's smelly great and I feel, no. But I do go all the way to the back, right? And I'm like, why is it all the way at the back? Why? And to come to find out that you have to pass through certain aisles and you're going to want to buy, or what they're hoping is that you go and buy extra stuff. Now, I do get caught up sometimes. I do. I'm not going to lie. But what I've seen myself get caught up, or I've seen other people get caught up, is that last part. So when you wait in the register, when you're waiting online, and then all of a sudden, and they have all the travel size or whatever stuff in. It's not even about the candy per se. It's really about oh, I need a Tide pen. No, you don't. No, you don't. When's the last time you got a stain? You have no reason to get, oh, you know what? I totally forgot the floss. Oh, they have extra razors. Why is razors the razor should be by the razors. Why is there, not only is the car air freshener situation, but then you have lotion, then you have chapstick. All of a sudden everybody has chapstick. It's just, that is just making you, oh, why not? I'm waiting. I'm bored. I'm already waiting. Might as well get this, right?
Yeah.
It's so much more. I've realized that they add so much more than just candy. Because before it was like, all right, let me get because I've been hungry and at least let me calm down my stomach. Let me get this candy, right?
Yeah.
Cool, let me do that. But now they have all these other things, especially depending on what store you go to. This is why I don't go to Walmart. I don't go to Walmart. Walmart is the devil to me. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't remember the last time I've been to a Walmart voluntarily, right? Because there was one time that I went in there and I spent $400, and all I wanted was like cocoa butter. That's all I wanted was cocoa butter, and I got $400 worth because it's a mega store. So all of a sudden I needed a printer or something. No, I didn't. I didn't need a printer. I didn't need any of that. And all of a sudden I needed these types of video games and this memory card. And then I got to get these. I hated it. I hate Walmart. See, even my dog in the background is just playing around because he hates Walmart too. Right.
Yeah.
I would love if somebody would break down Walmart, but I at least understand the other stuff. I at least understand that one.
Yeah, absolutely. The psychology behind why it is the way it is.
That's a fact. That's a fact, people. So let us know what you think. Have you been a victim of this training that these brands have totally studied and kind of strategically place certain things, do certain things, have certain types of colors? And then also, what are you going to apply or change inside of your brand? Are you thinking about adding a new color? Are you thinking about the packaging of certain things? Are you thinking about how you lay certain things out on a website, on an actual physical store? Because digital and physical, it doesn't matter. It still all applies. So, yep, that's the psychology of branding and business.